I am, among other things, a weekly columnist. I write a syndicated column. One of my columns is in here. There's different ones in every folder. The column is yours to keep.
That's the end,
On the other side is a sign-in sheet with an envelope. If you give me name and email, you'll get the column in the email every week, because we send it out every week, so you know what I think and how I think it. The columns are archived on the website, so you can go back and see what did I think about a number of issues, and you can hold me accountable, because you can tell if I'm consistent or not, as I leave it there for you. So you can go back and see, did she say the same thing 3 months ago that she's saying now? And if she changed something, did she tell us why? Because, you know, I'm not infallible. Obviously, there are things that you learn or a new situation. So things do change, but then I tell you why. I learned something. So you can kind of get a sense of who I am. They're not all serious. If you were in my list on December 6th, I wrote about Santa Claus because I like Santa Claus. And sometimes you really do need to smile. So sometimes they're like just a personal reflection. There are ways to donate in this card. You can write a check. That would be nice. If you give me cash, you must give me your name. No anonymous money is allowed. You can use a credit card. You can make a monthly contribution, because sometimes $10 a month fits better in somebody's budget than one big check. So there's ways to do that on the form. Jim will hand them out. If you already get it, don't take another one because you're already getting it. And if you're married, take one.
George.
Take the papers, and then just leave the folders on the tables, and I'll pick them up at the end. You can take, if you want to go home and think about it, that's why there's an envelope, so you can mail it back to me, but you can also leave it here tonight, okay? So while he's doing that, you can ask me any questions you want to ask me. Yes, sir?
I'd like to hear your stand on global warming.
There isn't any global warming.
Offshore drilling.
Well, that, unfortunately, there's not enough of that, and there should be more. And I don't know what's all in the folders. One of the columns is called Calling Joe Friday, and it's on how global warming is just a hoax. So, did you want to follow up? No, you're good.
But you want to talk about cap and trade?
Well, if since cap and trade is based on global warming and there isn't any global warming, then why would we have cap and trade? There's no reason for it. From the politician's point of view, it makes carbon into money, and that strangles American business, and that's a problem. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to commend you for not needing a teleprompter to begin with. What would you like to see in the health care bill?
I think the question was, what would I like to see in the health care bill? I actually read Nancy Pelosi's bill, all of it, and if you can't sleep, I actually do recommend it. It's better than science. That was not that was a disaster, that bill. There is a part of the healthcare system that is absolutely broken, and the part that's broken is Medicare. Medicare is financially unsustainable. As a matter of fact, yesterday there was a big report talking about how the financial difficulties. The most liberal proposals, analyses say Medicare will be gone within 7 years. So if you plan to die in the next 7 years, we're all good. Most of us don't. So we need to deal with Medicare. To understand where I want to go, I need to talk to people about what happens in Medicare today. I have this theory of campaigning that says you should talk to people in the state. So I've been in now about 55 counties, and I visit different businesses, and among them are hospitals. So I've been in about 12 different hospitals across Pennsylvania. So I went to one, and they gave me a lovely tour. And afterward, the administrator sat down, and the CEO said, last year we underwrote $6 million in underinsured care. And I said, no, you didn't. And he said, no, we took care of that many people. I said, I'm sure you took care of that many people. I believe you. Underwrote. Did you have a bank account? I underwrite my children's college educations. Every semester, I sit down and write a check from my bank account to the college bank account. That's what underwrite means. Did you have a bank account with $6 million in it? No. Where'd you get the money? We went around and around and around. When Medicare lowers their reimbursements, and that's part of how they balance their budget. So last year they lowered them by 11%. This year they're talking about lowering them by 20.5%. When Medicare lowers their reimbursements, hospital costs did not go down. So the hospitals go to the private providers and they renegotiate their rates up. And then the private insurance providers pass that on to you with a rate increase. The national average for rate increases that people are seeing right now, 11 to 18%. Medicare lowered their rates by 11%. It's a tax increase. It just doesn't look like one. It's like the old whack-a-mole game. You push it down over here and it pops up over here. It's just the same as if on your paycheck, instead of charging you 2 point whatever it is for Medicare, they charged you 3. But they didn't want you to know they were raising your taxes. So it came up in your health care premiums instead of in your taxes. But it was a tax increase. The other thing that happened with Medicare was they balanced their budget in a different way, and that was in how they treat seniors. So I am meeting seniors all over the state who are showing me the things they're getting from the government of their rates this year. Premiums are going up for people. I've seen rates up to, increases of up to $800 or more a year. And the co-pays are going up. Now, the co-pays went up for $5 for drugs. That's not a lot of money. Unless, of course, you're taking 10 to 13 different drugs, in which case, $5 for each. That's a lot of money. Additionally, an increasing number of doctors, because Medicare reimburses at rates that now, in some parts of the country, are 50% of the actual cost of providing care, doctors are saying we won't take Medicare patients. That's you. So Medicare patients are getting letters saying the doctor won't see you anymore unless you pay privately. But there are rules about what doctors can do if you pay privately. You've all seen the pieces of paper with an insurance company. You went in and you had a hangnail removed. The doctor billed, I'm making numbers up, the doctor billed the insurance company $1,000. The insurance company said, ha ha ha, we're paying you $7.49. The last column says, this is the amount that the provider, the doctor, the hospital can bill you. It might be 0 or 5 or 10 or 20, whatever your copay is. If you don't have insurance or are not paying with insurance, the doctor has to bill you at the rate at which he billed the insurance company, or it's a RICO violation. And I hear that from doctors all over the state. So Medicare patients are getting higher premiums for less insured care to have to pay for private care at the highest rate available. That's not how you do health care. So how could we do it different? Remember the premise, there's certain things government should do and certain things government shouldn't do? Micromanaging health care is a shouldn't. But there's 45 million people in the Medicare program. So how do we get from point A to point B? What if we said that instead of the government providing health care, the government provided access to health care? So those folks, step one, they get an insurance voucher. I'm making a number up so we can run it easily. Let's say we gave them $1,000 a month, which actually is cheaper than Medicare costs right now. Government costs just became controllable and predictable, because no matter what happens to you, the government cost is going to stay $1,000 a month. Those people get dropped in the actuarial pool. Now you have to make sure they can get in, so you have to guarantee access. You have to make sure that they can't be denied care. They get into actuarial pools. When you put people in private insurance, things change. First of all, private insurance knows how to manage care in a way that keeps them in business and gives you care. All the doctors take the blues, or Health America. So you actually can get in to see a private physician as opposed to going to the emergency room. Right now, since we have so many seniors and low-income people that doctors won't see, they have a card. They have a toothache. They have an earache. They go to the emergency room because that's the only door that's open. Now, if you had an earache and that was the only door that was open, you'd go there too. But it's the most expensive, least effective door. But if you have private insurance, my family, we have the blues. So if I go to the doctor's office, my copay is $20. If I go to the emergency room, my copay is $50. One of the kids has a broken arm, okay, I'm going to pay the $50 and go to the emergency room. They have the sniffles, I'm not paying $50 for the sniffles. We can go to the doctor's office for that. The financial pressures inside private insurance push you into the place that's financially makes more sense. When you see a doctor regularly,